to the Simple Foods for You podcast. I'm hanging out with Lisa. What's up, girl?
Hello.
I am Neal, and just like last time, we are on our way to another farmer's market. And we decided to have a little conversation on the way. At least last time, we were talking about the pros and cons, the ups and downs of cafeteria food when we were younger. And I went online and asked some questions on Facebook about people's fondest memories of the cafeteria. And it's funny that the rectangular pizza got the gold medal. Most people said that was their fondest memory. The best meal that they had was that pizza. Some people talked about the soybean burgers and the French fries, which was probably the best part of that, the fries. Somebody mentioned the Fiesta salad, which I totally forgot about. Somebody said something about they used to have this like coffee cake crumble with cold milk. They used to have at their school. This cake with cold milk. I don't remember that at all. Somebody said bagels and sausages. I'm like, where was you at? Beverly Hills?
I've never heard of bagels.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? I don't remember that at all. So anyway, it was just really cool to see people just kind of have fond memories and laugh. Remember that stuff. So that was a great subject. I think today we want to talk about, and I think I mentioned it to you. I asked you a question once we were off the air last time. I said, do you remember your worst meal? And you said, yeah. And so I think I want to talk about that today. Is when somebody said that was the worst when it comes to food, they're obviously comparing it to something, or maybe comparing it to an expectation. When somebody says this is the worst meal I ever had, what are you talking about?
For me, it's the taste. It was nasty. It was disgusting.
Well,
and my dad did not have any mercy on me when I didn't want to eat that meal.
Wow.
So he put it in the refrigerator and kept bringing it out every dinner time for 5 days straight until I ate it.
Dang, you were eating mummy food.
He was not going to budge, and neither was I. Because that was just the most disgusting meal he'd ever made.
So since you started talking about it, you didn't tell us what it was. What was this mystery meal? And why didn't you like it? Let's go.
First of all, it was rutabagas.
Ooh.
As the vegetable. Rutabagas is one of the nastiest. I thought beets were nasty. Rutabagas is disgusting. I think mac and cheese was on the plate. I think that disappeared like in 5 seconds. And I think there was cornbread that disappeared in 5 seconds. And the meat was liver. And it wasn't the liver that had like the sauteed onions and the crispy crust around it. It was just kind of like thrown on the grill. Made sure that it was cooked. Excuse me. Make sure that it was cooked and then put on the plate. And
it had seasonings?
I don't even remember. All I remember is just sitting there staring at it for an hour. And then when it was time to go to bed, he took it, put it back in the refrigerator, and while everybody else was eating hamburgers the next day and pizza the next day, I mean, he did it on purpose. He had to have done it on purpose. When they were eating pork chops and stuff, I was still staring down at that nasty plate.
Did he leave it in the same plate?
He wrapped it. He left it in the same plate, yeah.
God. So after 3 days, that thing was like petrified. In the refrigerator, did he warm it up in the mic? Or what? I mean,
He warmed it up on the stove.
Wow.
And put it back in the plate.
Well, last time you said the holiday meals after 3 or 4 days it get that nice little savory taste. So that didn't happen with this?
No.
Why?
Because it's rutabagas and liver. I don't think anything good can come out of that even after 10 days.
So
nasty is just nasty. It should have nastied away, but it didn't.
Had you ever had rutabagas and liver before this day?
I had rutabagas before, and I threw them away. my pocket and trashed them. And we had liver before, but it was tender. It was crunchy. You know, he had the little crust around it and the sauteed onions, and it was good.
Why is liver crunchy like that?
I'm talking about the flour.
I'm just saying, but when you bite into liver, it is crunchy. Like it has this little texture to the muscle, and it's like
I don't even want to think
crunchy.
about that. Don't.
Anyway, liver is crunchy.
I have a love-hate relationship with liver. I'm not really a fan of it, but I did eat the edges because it tasted like chicken or steak.
I used to think that like a liver is a pre-heart. Like when I was a kid, I was like, man, liver is like eating a heart. If you would eat a liver, you would eat a heart.
I didn't want to think about it like that.
And liver looked like I don't know. When it was I don't know. Liver just gave me the heebie-jeebies. And my mom used to make it. Now, Mom, I ain't gonna lie. She used to make it to the point where it was almost like steak. And you're right, the little crispiness to it, the onions, all the salt and pepper and the seasonings. Whoo! I mean, if you hungry and with some rice and some gravy, oh, you gonna eat that liver.
But that taste is like none other. I mean, it's just
the crunchiness.
It's just I'm talking about the flavor of liver.
Yeah.
I don't even.
When you're hungry, you just eat it, but it's not something I would pick off a menu. Like, oh yeah, give me that liver right there. Give me liver. That I love liver. No, I would never say I love liver, but I used to eat it. So I need to know about this story. Like who won? What happened? How did the story
end? I won because my mother's got tired of seeing it and said, "My God, can you just throw that away, please?" So he threw it away, but he didn't give me dessert that night because he wasn't happy that he lost to a 6-year-old.
So you feel good about that?
I feel great about that.
Okay. All right. So, worst meal ever, rutabagas and liver at home. What is probably the worst meal? And you can say the restaurant if you want to. It doesn't matter, but we're just talking. What is in your mind, other than the breakfast sandwich we just had, we won't mention the bill. Other than that breakfast sandwich we just had, what is the worst meal you think you can remember? I know you probably had several, but what is one you can really remember? This is just horrible.
While I'm trying to think of mine, tell me yours.
I don't really remember exactly like a restaurant that I went into that I'm like, man, this is bad. I'm trying to jog my memory, trying to figure out, okay, someplace I walked out of and I'm just like, wow, this was like one of the worst experiences. I'm sure there's one there, but I can't really recall. But I'll turn it back over to you.
I can't remember what restaurant this was at, but it was in Memphis, and I like rare steak. I'm cool with it. I know there's gonna be blood and everything. I like rare, medium rare. It's cool. But duck, I will never eat duck rare again, or even medium rare, because it smelled and tasted like feet, like stinky feet.
You tasted somebody's stinky feet before?
No, it just tasted like the smell.
Okay.
It smelled like it, and then I don't know if you can taste a smell, but that's what it tasted like. The smell of dirty feet.
Wow.
And that was my worst meal because I didn't even eat it, and it's like I just wasted money.
What did you have with the duck?
That was the appetizer.
Wow, it was just bloody.
Yeah, it was bloody duck. And it wouldn't have been so bad, but it just smelled bad.
You tasted it?
I ate around it. I tried to eat as much of it as I could, so I didn't waste the money. I mean, it was like a $20 appetizer.
Wow.
So I tried to eat it.
Now this isn't like the food part. I cannot remember my worst food place. Like I went out and I'm like, my God, this is horrible. But other than some fast food places, of course, you get food and it's hard. No, I can talk about fast food, but I won't because they're not worth talking about like that. But the one place I remember the bad experience that I think we actually went to and we didn't eat there is when we went into Benihana's. And I think we were in Memphis, and the stench from the carpet, remember that? We walked in and the stench from the carpet was so strong it was like there's no way in the heavens that I can eat here because it's like that carpet was there. It was like I feel like it was shag carpet from the 70s, and they hadn't cleaned it since the 70s, and it was like I guess all the oils, all the aromas from them cooking and the butters and I don't know. But you remember that was so.
I was about to say that we walked in and walked back out.
I think we did walk in and walk out.
No, we actually sat down.
Okay.
And you looked at me and you were like, and you wrinkled your nose up, and I was like, he's thinking what I'm thinking, and we just got up and walked out.
Yeah, it was like so unbearable, and so to me, it was like I don't think I could have enjoyed that meal, even though I love going to those grills, hibachi grills, right? Like that. I love sitting there and watching the dudes do the plate out tricks and all that. Choo choo. I've seen that 39,000 times, but it's still cool. And the fire, and you're like, ah. But that stench was so strong. I just.
But you are right. There is another restaurant that we walked in, and we passed the door frame and turned right back around because it was just the smell was just too.
Were we in Memphis again?
Too bad. We probably were, or Houston. I cannot remember.
Yeah, there's some places, y'all. Sometimes it's like the atmosphere. You want to walk in and you want to
smell food.
Yeah, you want to smell food, and you don't want to smell like a decade old, grease and rice and just stuff just in the carpet, in the walls, in the everything, and it just messes your experience up. And so, even though I can't remember a meal I've had that was horrible, I just remember meals I decided not to have because of the place, and I think it's really important for people that go out to do that. Now, just shifting subject, I'm gonna bring this to you. I'll see how honest you are. What is the worst meal that you ever cooked and you just know it was horrible? You just like, this is
not
bad.
Right, you're not right.
Do you even remember?
Yes, I do.
What?
It was my first time. It was my first time making mac and cheese. Homemade mac and cheese.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, because it tasted like black-eyed peas.
What?
That's why you don't remember. Because you did not taste the taste of baked noodles and cheese. Mm-hmm. You tasted black-eyed peas.
Now, how did that happen?
Because I burnt them.
Well,
and I thought you know what? I have to say my worst meal as a married woman was the one you made.
I already know.
It was
I was thinking I was gonna confess.
It was pork chops.
Stop. Okay.
It was pork chops and dishwashing liquid.
Shut up. The only thing, I was washing.
That was horrible.
I was washing the dishes, and I was washing the skillet, and I don't know what happened. I just don't know. Some remnants of Dawn dishwashing liquid was left over, and I knew something was wrong because I was trying to do the cool thing, cook. I was like, man, she's gonna be home, and I noticed something was bubbling up with the grease, but I was like, maybe I don't know what's going on. And so I'm seeing this stuff bubbling up. I'm thinking it's the grease, the grease was just being greasy. And I'm cooking them pork chops thinking, oh man, this is awesome.
Grease pops. It doesn't blow bubbles.
Soap suds. Horrible day. Already was broke. Didn't have no money. Spent a little bit of money I did have on that food in the neighborhood market, which I used to love in St. Louis, going down to the neighborhood market and getting food from those guys, the butchers and stuff in the community. That was really cool. And I got home and thought I was gonna be the man, and it was horrible. That was the worst. Y'all, I did literally fry pork chops in Dawn dishwashing liquid, and it was horrible. It was like on Dennis the Menace. He put that he put that dough or something that he was trying to eat. He was chewing. It reminded me of the paint. Yeah, it reminded me of that. The whole paint, and it was so embarrassing because I was just trying to be a cool guy. That didn't work out. She didn't say nothing, but she didn't have to.
I couldn't after the second bite. I couldn't take it no more.
And so, yeah. But I did redeem myself. So don't just leave it at that. I did redeem myself. And I let you master spaghetti because it took you like 20 times to learn how to cook spaghetti the right way. And I ain't mentioning that, but anyway. So guys, this has been really fun. I hope y'all enjoyed us laughing at ourselves. Oh! Let me say this. If somebody, I'm gonna ask, I want you to give some wisdom. Now we're gonna end this with some wisdom today. We're laughing at ourselves, at these bills, at everything. But we know that there are some people listening that are trying to get into the food thing and do things for their family, especially young people. If somebody wants to cook some cornbread, I know you do not like Jiffy.
Oh my gosh.
Why don't you like Jiffy, by the way?
First of all, it's sweet.
Oh.
Second of all, it does not taste like cornbread to me. It tastes like cake.
That is true. Okay. So, if a person wants to start cooking some cornbread for their family,
it doesn't satisfy my cornmeal needs.
That is true. It's different. It is like a real muffin. What would you say to them if they wanted to start cooking cornbread and started doing getting down to the nitty gritty? I would
say just follow the instructions on the cornmeal pack, but at the same time, sometimes they don't tell you about the little secret about how to get it crunchy on the top. And if you haven't cooked cornbread before, the best thing to use is a cast iron skillet.
Ooh, in
my opinion, they come out the best. And I don't know why. It's some kind of magic maybe, but I would put some oil in the pot, put it in the oven while I'm mixing the ingredients so that it can heat up. And when it's hot enough, when I pour the cornmeal inside the pan, it's going to bubble up a little bit so that when it's cooking, that part that bubbles up is going to be the crispiest. And even if they say take it out in 20 minutes, I always leave it in maybe a minute or two longer so that it can get even crunchier, because I love the crust on the top, on the sides, and the bottom.
Well, there you have it. Take your time, do it right. Go to YouTube University. There's so many different styles. You can put cheese in there, jalapenos in there. I mean, so many different things you can put inside of cornbread. Don't give all your secrets away. But yeah, so y'all just have fun. Let us know what you think about the podcast, because we're just having fun on the way to the farmers market. And we're going to talk to you guys one day soon about why we're going to the farmers market. And those are some stories for sure. So thank y'all for hanging out with us right here. Lisa, Neal, Simple Foods for You podcast. We'll see y'all next time.